What's going on, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening as a form of mental health therapy, addiction recovery, and also ADHD and neurodivergence life skills. And welcome to the annual veggie draft of 2023 garden season. I'm super excited about this one because veggies is me. I love growing veggies, and I have an awesome pick for you. You may want to skip around depending on what type of draft picks you're looking for. This is going to be strictly cold hardy crops for the springtime. So if you're looking for summer, this is not it. It's all about early springtime for zone 6A and B border, and this is where it's at. We're going to be hitting the herbs. That's going to be one section. We're going to be hitting the veggies in another, and then we're going to hit the runner-ups for all of them. So let's get started with the first draft pick, the number ones that we are going for. This is their prime time season, and that is brassicas. Yes, you guessed it, the cruciferous family. We have the broccoli. Those are going to be banging. We have cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and what else is in that category? Anything cruciferous. Those are some awesome veggies to be growing right now because this is their prime time weather to be getting started. Now, if you're in zone 6A-B border, then you already know this is the end of January. And yeah, we need to start thinking about them early spring crops. They take a long time to grow, so this is why I'm starting them in mid-January. And if not, you still have time for late January, so really hop on those. The past few seasons, I've been just missing the mark by at least a month, so I'm starting now, and that means you gotta start now. All brassica and cruciferous family veggies love the cold weather. So if you try to grow these crops later on in the springtime into the summer, your flowers or the plants are going to bolt into flowers, and you're not gonna get any crops. It's okay if you miss the mark though, because you still have opportunity for the fall time, but that's for another video. Oh, my bad. Last announcement is that I go live on YouTube 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this upcoming Sunday. Back to the video. The next set of veggies that we're going to be growing in the early springtime, this one has a little caveat, and that involves a greenhouse, a cold frame, also winter sowing milk jugs. So if you have all of those capabilities, then these crops are for you because technically those needed to be planted directly in the ground. Now, if your soil is still frozen, then it's not going to work, which is why I mentioned the greenhouse, cold frame, and so on. But we're talking about carrots, and we're talking about beets. Beets are awesome. They really are cold hardy, and especially carrots are. The carrots are going to be very, very slow growing because of the season. Technically, you would want to get those carrots a little head start, but that's okay. That does not mean that you cannot grow them right now, or at least sow the seeds right now if you have a cold frame and all that stuff. Another crop that I do not grow, but I know you can grow, is turnips. Like, yo, I've tried turnips. They do not taste good. I mean, maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. Turnips do not taste good to me, worth a crapola. So, but if you like them, this is the time to grow them. I'm not a fan. Also, what I do eat though is radishes, and you can definitely grow some radishes right now too. You're gonna be treating them just like the other root veggies like turnips and carrots and beets. Is, cold frame. If not, you know what, you may have to just wait a longer period of time before they actually start to germinate. So you gotta think about that, pick and choose. Same thing with parsnips. Those are awesome too. Root veggies, no potatoes. Trust me, no potatoes. We're only doing early spring crops, and that only involves some root veggies. Onions and the leeks really do like a cool, chilly weather, but not this cold. So that means you may want to start them inside to give them a head start, and then eventually, once they're established, the seedlings are established, you can put them outside into your cold frame or your greenhouse right now. But at this current temperature and this current month that we're in, indoors is the way to go. Another plant that I'm growing right now for like the second year in a row because I'm trying to get it right because my timing has been off is the eggplants. Now, when it comes to the eggplants, I know that they like spring weather. They do not really do too well in the summertime, but they also do not like it super cold. But this is the time to start growing them because they do like to grow. Well, at least the eggplants like to grow in late spring into, like mid to late spring into the beginning of summerish, you know what I mean? So too early, they're not going to withstand the cold, but they do, they can tolerate some chilly stuff. I mean, just think about it. When you go to the store in May, in your big box stores, they already have their eggplants growing. So that means that they must have started them at least 2 to 3 months beforehand, and that means right now. Okay, so what are the top leafy greens for the spring season? Oh, I'm so excited about this because I've been growing lots of them. I'm staring right at them across from this camera. The first one is lettuce. Lettuce loves the cold. Lettuce loves cold. I mean, have you ever seen lettuce try to grow in the summertime? It flowers, it bolts because it does not like the heat. So the wintertime, now is the time. And on top of that, you can actually winter sow that in milk jugs, leave them in your greenhouse, direct sow into the ground, and then you're good to go. Another fantastic one are the kale. I know not everybody likes kale, but it all depends on the type of variety of kale that you'd like. No, we're all not a fan of kale, people, but I understand that. But yo, not only is it nutritious, but it handles the cold so well. So there's all different types of kale. That is definitely great. Another variety is definitely going to be spinach. Oh my gosh, spinach loves this type of weather. But not only just spinach, another cousin of the spinach, I believe it's an Asian variety. It's called tatsoi. We treat it just like a spinach, and it grows just like a spinach, and it also has the same conditions. So that is why when you're growing spinach, you can also grow tatsoi as well, because that stuff is awesome. Another one is bok choy. All types of bok choy loves this type of weather as well. Oh my gosh, I love that stuff. I grow it all the time. We have mustard greens. I already mentioned the bok choy. There's all different varieties of greens. Depending on where you grow, where you buy your leafy greens or where you buy your seeds, you can come across so many different varieties that you cannot find in America or the United States. Don't forget, Americans, collard greens. If y'all some collard green lovers, you can also start that now. Maybe if you want to wait until like a little bit of February, you totally can, but you can actually try to sow them now if you have a greenhouse, cold frame, so on and so forth. Greens are great because I know my dad would start them every year because they love to grow. Okay, another one that I have mentioned it in a previous video. I don't know if you've seen my last week's video with the whole flower draft of 2023. I did mention an edible flower or an edible, well, it is a flowers in the early springtime, but you also get a fruit, and that is peas. Well, peas is a fruit. I mean, technically anything that grows from a flower would be considered like a fruit. But anyway, peas. Peas are awesome because you will get them very, very early spring, and now is the time to start planting them, especially if you have a greenhouse, cold frame, anything like that. Peas, all different kinds. And the last category for the 2023 draft for veggie picks, these are technically herbs. What herbs are we going to be planting for the early spring? That's where it gets fun. I'm starting parsley. This is indoors. I do not know. Let me know down in the comments below. Are you growing any herbs right now that is going to be able to grow if you have a greenhouse or cold frame and so on? When it comes to the herbs, some herbs just love the cold weather. And one staple herb when it comes to us Latin Hispanic people is cilantro. Now is the time to start growing that outside. Remember, greenhouse, cold frame, milk jugs, these are all going to be working right now. So if you got some cilantro seeds, plant them now. I already have a lot of it growing inside of my greenhouse. The weather has gotten to it, but it's okay because it will rise up again. And it's still alive. It may look a little wilty, but it does grow really good, and it is cold hardy. As far as me, I'm growing these herbs indoors so I can transplant them into my greenhouse later on. So let me know down in the comments below. And you know what? Let me know down what zone you are when you're growing these herbs and stuff, because I want to know. I'm curious. I'm a curious soul. I have my little case of herbs. Now, peppermint. I am growing peppermint indoors though. So we're starting early. So if you can't grow them outdoors, you can still grow them, but inside. And that's peppermint. Let me know down in the comments below. Could I grow a peppermint right now outside too? Or is it one of those where you could just sow them and then when it's the right time, it'll grow on its own? That's also a possibility. Catnip. I'm growing that for my cats because, they gotta have fun too. But I'm doing that indoors. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you growing for this 2023 season? I need to know. I must know because I love to get ideas from you guys. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Also, you can catch me on TikTok for my addiction recovery stories and all that, Instagram, And definitely, I'm on Facebook. I'm on there all the time. You can catch me there. Until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both growing our happiness one plant at a time, one day at a time. Check y'all later in the next episode. Peace and love.